heart and soul, not taking things for granted. Peace and prosperity for people in the planet.
Welcome, dear M1 students. So today we're in the studio, the Efrei studio, to ask and think about some very important questions. Questions like, how can higher education institutes like Efrei contribute to building a better, a more sustainable, a more inclusive world? A world where everyone can reach their fullest potential. And how can we reach these goals while taking into account the real impact that climate change is having on our planet? Perhaps for us, as teachers, how can Efrei bridge the theoretical learning gap between hands-on practice and theoretical understanding to enable students to have the tools that they need to be real, true, effective change makers? Today, the Efrei Languages Department is launching the second iteration of the M1 IT Job Challenges course. This course provides you, our students, the opportunity to engage with these tough questions, to take on these challenges directly, and prepare to be truly successful engineers. My name is Katie Moran, and I have the honour of being the head of the Efrei Languages Department. And today, I'm here with the esteemed teacher and pedagogical coordinator, Keithley Woolward.
Good morning, everybody.
And today we are totally excited and happy to welcome a special guest speaker, Felix Nduga, Security CTO at Microsoft France, who is going to share with us an insider's perspective on the M1 IT Job Challenges course. But before we welcome Felix into the studio, Keithley, could you give us a little bit more context about the course, please?
Right, absolutely. So the overriding goal for the IT Job Challenges course is to prepare our students to participate in real-world scenarios, situational exercises where they're conjoining theory and practice. They have to think about their major, and this is important, in terms of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, so that they can become engineers who are engaged in the big questions and challenges of our times. What we're also hoping is that they're going to improve their linguistic skills, and they're doing this by engaging in hands-on projects. Overall, what we hope is that our M1 students walk away from this course with a better level of English. That's, of course, our expectation, as well as a deeper sense of themselves as global citizens.
Okay, Keithley, so that's what we want the students to learn, to obtain. But what will they actually have to do to demonstrate these skills?
All right, so the most important thing is that in the first class, students are going to choose a United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. Once they've chosen that goal, then they're going to look at either companies or initiatives. These can be startups, local or national governments, NGOs, etc., who are dealing with that particular goal that they've chosen. The next step is that they're going to have to investigate this goal from the perspective of them being future engineers. They have to then communicate those findings and analysis. This is their message, what they found out throughout the time of the semester, in a 6-minute video and a poster presentation, which is going to happen at the end of the semester. But really, the core focus is going to be that every week, students are going to be working on a weekly journal writing project, which will support a reflective essay that will be submitted at the end of the semester, which talks about the entire experience of having been involved in this course. What is the goal as well is that this is a hands-on project-based course. So we expect all of you to be present and actively engaging in every session of the class.
We have confidence in them.
Absolutely, we do.
And because this is the second interaction of the course, what we've done is we've tried to improve it. And one new element is that we've worked in collaboration with the Efrei Pedagogical Innovation Group, so PING.
Absolutely.
And what we've done is we've created a sort of a website which is called the Director's Toolbox. And in this website, well, basically it's a host of tools and advice for making, editing, posting videos, and why not acting in videos as well?
Absolutely. This is a really great tool that's available to all of you this semester.
We really hope it's going to encourage your creativity. Okay, so before we welcome Felix, for those of you who are not familiar with the United Nations Sustainability Development Goals, one of our colleagues, who you might know as well, MC Fluency, has put them in rap form for us today.
Tell me, what do you know about the SDGs? You see, each of us on Earth plays a vital role in working towards sustainable development goals. It takes heart and soul, not taking things for granted. Peace and prosperity for people and the planet. This we've got to manage. The future we must plan it towards your advantage. You continue to do damage. Sustainable development goals, what do they mean? These are the SDGs from 1 to 17. No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education for all human beings, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy across every nation. These are our obligations, that means you and me both. Decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities for them, him and her, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production. We need unity, climate action, life below water and life on land. They go hand in hand. Peace, justice, and strong institutions, partnerships for the goals to reach solutions. What's your contribution to sustainable development? Ask yourself this question, no question is more relevant. What's your contribution to sustainable development? Ask yourself this question, no question is more relevant.
Now, to help us make the link between teaching, pedagogy, and industry expectations, we are fortunate to have with us in the studio today Felix Nduga, Security CTO at Microsoft France. Welcome, Felix.
Thank you, Katie, for having me today
Yes.
and joining your program.
And we're very excited to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Felix, so you're at Microsoft France. Could you tell us, please, tell us about your job. What does your job entail?
My job is about leading customer to a business digital transformation, but mostly secure this digital transformation. So identifying trends and adapting solutions to match customer needs. Okay. Also reinforcing cross-solution area value and also driven delivery and end-to-end customer approach. I also do some mentoring.
Okay, and for our students listening, we were wondering, what's your background? What's your training? Did you do a school like Efrei?
Of course, I did. I studied computer science.
Okay.
So I also have a master, specialized master in distributed system and telecommunications. So a school like Efrei I did, but I think also that it's not something that you must absolutely do in order to be successful. So you can also work by yourself. And so it is just what's important here is that you have this learning mindset and hard work. You can achieve a lot of stuff in the professional world.
Thanks so much, Felix. And how long have you been with Microsoft? And how has your training and other experiences that you've had helped you to evolve and grow in your current role?
I joined Microsoft in '97. So that was not my first job, but, but I joined Microsoft in more than 25 years ago. This was in the early days of internet and smartphones.
That's
so
right.
There was no social media, as you know.
Luckily.
And main computer threat was virus infecting disk.
We should have had a disc.
I know.
You have a disc in order to show that. So, to keep pace with technology evolution and skills, I have to update my skills by continue learning. So I took courses on current technology by the time, and also emerging one that we are using today.
Okay.
Okay. Also, I improved my English, and that's helped me a lot during my career. So I think that students have to really have this learning mindset, continuous learning mindset, because technology change and new opportunity comes. In order to catch this opportunity, you need also to update your skills.
Thank you, Felix.
So here's a question for you. How did you get involved with Efrei and this particular course and this project?
So this was during the parent school meeting that we have yearly this year.
This academic year.
This academic year.
Yes.
So when I talked to Katie and you, Katie, I was really impressed by what you propose, what you are really developing as project. It was very appealing, and with the worldview that you have, very engaged. The self-reflection is a critical appreciation, and all those ingredients that you put in the program was really amazing. I feel that this program was very innovative.
Excellent.
And that's helped me really do the talk we have, that when you propose to work together, I jumped to this opportunity. I catch this opportunity. I say it was very, for me, really an opportunity to be involved with this type of, see how can we impact students.
And we really are delighted to have you, Felix.
Absolutely. This is a wonderful confirmation of the work that we're trying to do.
Yes, and also how important networking is.
Absolutely. That's right.
Yes.
Okay, so Felix, now for the million-dollar question. Okay, so we're all familiar with the idea of corporate social responsibility. It's almost like a buzzword.
Yeah.
But for you, how is the IT sector dealing with this challenge?
So this is not a buzzword. As you know, RSC is the reality in the corporation today. And the people don't think that it's related to IT. There is a relation to IT. So say, when I do RSC, it's just something that's not related to IT, but it's something that IT sector takes seriously. They make, you can make, IT can make full use of companies in general, can rely on IT to make full use of data investment, to measure and monitor environment footprint. That's something important today. That's the reality. And also adopt data-driven solution to reduce environmental impact on operations, on their operation. That's almost every company can start doing that today. And reimagine their business system, business model with innovative digital technology. That means that students today that's learning IT, developing the IT skill, can have an impact on the sustainability project and so on, challenges and so on. That is something that's together. That's amazing that you combine English course, challenges like sustainability and IT. Because you are the IT school. That is very amazing. That is something that impressed me really.
Great.
For example, internally we organize some hackathon on sustainability. To give you a concrete example, how really corporate can, companies, whatever organization in general, can leverage technology in order to have an impact on the environment.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much, Felix. And just to follow up on this question, for the students listening here now, what do you think the main challenges that they're going to face in the next 10 years or so?
For the coming year, I see a lot of impact on how IT professionals are working today. So AI will be the most impactful technology. We are seeing that today with ChatGPT, on how we look for information.
We're all dealing with the ChatGPT challenge.
AI will also probably make the life of skilled professionals easier by freeing them of cumbersome tasks. That doesn't mean that their job will go away. No, they work differently. AI will also create a lot of opportunities for less skilled professionals, for example, in security, and this could be a starting answer to the talent gap
This is a really important point.
Yeah, totally.
In terms of how artificial intelligence could really help allow people to develop skills that they may not have today.
They may not have today. Also, starting on some positions, some roles that it will be very difficult for them to get today.
Okay.
So and fill this gap. So generally, people say that AI will take all the jobs away.
Okay, yeah,
that's not the debate. That's not the debate today. But I say it today, I see it positively that AI will really help some issue, can contribute a lot of to solve some challenges that we face today.
Okay.
Yes, one thing to mention important is that tomorrow the student must be prepared to change the role a lot because things are moving fast and so on. So saying at the same company, having the same job from starting to the end, we know something they will experience, at least most of them.
This is very important perspective.
That means the investment that I are doing today, developing these soft skills that we are proposing, all will be useful in order to change the career, to catch up to catch new opportunities in the future.
Right.
That's very important.
Okay, so if I'm understanding correctly, so it's a question of honing skills of adaptability. Okay, so adaptability, and also thinking about the challenges that we have. This might be the data centers, this might be AI, this might be the importance of thinking about how job opportunities are being created and how to seize them.
Yes, exactly. But that means that maybe the job that they have tomorrow, maybe it doesn't exist maybe today.
Right.
That means be prepared by learning this learning mindset, continuing learning mindset, open your eye, and we are already identified the big challenges.
Okay.
Right. Maybe but how will be the job in this area? We don't know. But if you prepare very well, we have this chance to catch the opportunity in this area.
Okay, and for preparing for the unknown, something that we don't know yet. So a course which enables the students to engage in these issues that are extremely important, but not necessarily technology driven. This is something that's useful for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So that my answer is yes. That what you are showing today, you are showing that IT can leverage to some of the modern challenge we are facing today and how to restitute those ideas in the global world. So it's absolutely important. So students are starting to think about those challenges and solutions around green computing. We talk about data center. Can you build efficient data centers?
Right, that is a challenge.
That's a challenge we're facing now. Privacy challenges. We know internet maybe sometimes law is behind the challenge that we face in this area.
Yeah,
energy efficiency. So that is something you can measure climate change, human rights, and so on. Also putting on the focus on inclusivity and diversity is essential. At Microsoft, the idea of diversity is at the core of the corporation at every level. So that's something that is very, very important at Microsoft. We can only find solution if we understand different life experiences. This type of course is really innovative in the way that it connects different fields together.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And here is another example how IT can contribute to reduce the environmental impact and how to revamp practices through digitalization. That's what we do. It's very important because in the IT school like this one, you combine the languages, that is something important.
Right, absolutely.
And the challenges, and build a program where the students can start thinking really for their future.
Okay.
Right. I believe we need to understand how broad the IT application field is and how one needs more than just IT skills to be successful in the modern world. That's what we are doing.
Right. No, absolutely. Well, I mean, just to summarize a little bit here, what's really exciting is the link between the human, so thinking about the diversity of perspectives, to the challenges of the environment.
Exactly.
Bringing those two things together. This is great.
Bringing it in with technology.
Absolutely.
Bring that in technology, because the technology will drive that, but this is not only a technology issue. it's not only non-technology issue,
Right.
but you
Exactly.
need
Needs to be together.
That's why this course is really where you do that. You combine all those fields because you take the English is the common. How do you communicate the communication
the reality.
to bring all this diversity together, and then we use IT in order to solve those challenges that are common to us.
And the students are really going to have to work in teams as well.
Absolutely.
So these skills of teamwork and working together, listening to each other, this is something that the students will be doing as well. Keithley, could you tell us about other challenges that the students have?
One of the things that we did when we built the course, besides the elements you've just mentioned, is the fact that we wanted to give students a constraint. So they have to produce a video. They also have to produce a poster. Many students may not necessarily have the skills to produce a video, which is why we've created the Director's Toolkit. But the idea was we wanted to give students a constraint, have them problem solve, and think about how to find a solution. Is this kind of constraint, the one that we've constructed, or at least that we're trying to have students go through, are these the kinds of constraints that they will have to face when they are in the working world?
Absolutely. This is the type of task that students will experience in their professional lives.
Absolutely. Okay.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
This is wonderful combination.
This could be in a training. In the training, for example, in the training, you have sometimes to record a video.
Okay.
So that all the participants will really assess how you summarize your idea and so on. So that's the reality. Or during their daily jobs, because here you have some time to speak live or record something for the customer and so on. That is something that you have to do, or to explain just one process to someone. You have to record it. We have a lot of examples at the professional at my work. So a technical demonstration can be done by recording a video. We are all familiar with YouTube learning, so we know that. So absolutely, students love that YouTube video. So this type of skills is something that a lot of people are familiar with, and you are just doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Felix, it's really important as well, that you mention even something as simple as learning on YouTube, this idea of learning to learn. This is something that's really inherent to the course as well, isn't it, Keithley?
Absolutely. One of the other things that we really wanted for students to be able to get and develop is this idea of lifelong learning. So learning how to learn, reflecting on the learning as an individual, because we see this as part of their own self-development as one of the explicit goals of the course. So this type of lifelong learning, this type of profile that we're trying to create here, is this kind of a profile something that an organization like Microsoft is looking for?
If I have to say just one thing in order to underline here is exactly that.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful. This is the main point. This is
the main point. Absolutely. And from my own experience, also I can really say that is exactly the type of mindset that prepares young graduates to embrace a successful IT career or a career in general.
Exactly, yeah.
Curiosity, lifelong learner is something that is key. At Microsoft, we have an internal learning platform where you can find everything you need to broaden your knowledge in technical as well as soft skills. You have some recommendation, and also you have to be prepared. If you have this mindset, you can only be successful. That's very key. Here you summarize in your program everything. You tackle everything that is really the key ingredients to be successful in the IT career, in general. That's
absolutely reflecting great. On the work that's been done.
Exactly.
And taking every opportunity to learn and finding learning what you're interested in as well.
Exactly.
And you mentioned this tool at Microsoft, which sounds really cool. Is this in English because Microsoft is an American company?
We have course in English as well as local languages. So it's something that we have. So we have, you can choose also the translation and so on. So it's really inclusive. Really inclusive for everyone, so that you can really rely on your mother language. That is something that, but the platform you have everything that you need.
But so Microsoft is an American company, but it's not just American.
It's just not just American. So not just American, in a global economy, new collaboration tools have made it easier to interact with people who don't speak your mother language. English is usually the one that is most practiced. if you work in international company, having a good writing and speaking English skills is not an option anymore.
This is not an
okay,
option.
so it's absolutely crucial to have good...
Let's underline this again.
It's not an option.
It is not an option.
It's a reality. Really,
it's a reality.
So sometimes people believe that you can only rely on good writing skills. It's not sufficient because you have also to have speaking skills.
Great.
Okay. Both are important. I insist in saying both are important.
Both are absolutely important.
And we say today we don't know where the job, which type of job you will have tomorrow. We need to really be prepared to have those skills to be really successful tomorrow.
Good.
Fantastic. That's what we're working on in this course, speaking and writing and reading.
Exactly.
Okay. So if we come back to this idea of the Sustainable Development Goals, and if we think that they provide a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet and the future, do you think it's possible to hold both of these objectives and a career to make a better world? Are they mutually exclusive?
I think no, absolutely no, because they're not exclusive.
Okay.
As I already mentioned, IT can contribute to sustainability development. Therefore, IT professionals with a commitment to a better world can thrive in their work without having to choose between IT or the commitment for a better world.
Right.
Okay. You can do both.
Okay.
So as we said before, IT can really contribute, use IT skills for the better world. That's something that's important. And as we say today, we have some programs, solutions, how you can leverage data to really have an impact on the environment. So that it's not exclusive, as I said before. So people who embrace a career, IT career, don't have to really put apart their dream to have an impact on the challenge that we are facing today in the sustainability area. Great.
So to sum up, a career and a deep commitment to a better world are compatible.
Absolutely compatible. This is one of the things that we hope that students walk away from this course with, that they can have those ideals, they can have those commitments without having to give up on a career in IT.
A successful career.
It's bridging the gap.
Yeah.
It's bridging the gap, absolutely.
Felix, do you have a final piece of advice for the students watching us today, something that they can really take away from this conversation?
First of all, I want to thank you, Katie and Katie Lee, for giving me the opportunity to be part of this great program. I mentioned that before. Your innovative program is rooted in the reality. It's not just theoretical stuff. It's really a reality that we experience in the enterprise, in the modern workplace, because the workplace is evolved today and so on. That is a modern workplace. For every M1 student, I will say, be curious. Keep your continuous learning mindset. We mentioned that before.
Right, absolutely.
And use your IT knowledge to solve sustainability challenges. That is possible. We demonstrate, we talk about that, so that you don't have to choose between your IT career and your dreams to change the world. That's something that's absolutely compatible.
And this is the entire structure of the course, is to think about your career and major options, as well as the challenges facing the world that we're living in today.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Felix. You are welcome back whenever you'd like to come back.
Thank you, Katie.
It was a pleasure having you. And to the students, we thank Felix for being here
on your
behalf.
Okay, thank you.
You are a good person. You spend time with your family. You work out at the gym.
Come on, push.
You conserve water while showering. You like nice clothes. You give to charity. You recycle. You drive a Prius, but you use your bike when you can. You enjoy the occasional distraction at work, and you always send a card on Mother's Day. Always. But there's a part of you that tells yourself that you're not so good, that you could be doing more, that the world is falling apart at the seams, and all you've been doing is yoga. One day, you see that the rainforest is being destroyed at a staggering rate of 32 million acres a year. That's the equivalent of one football field every 78 seconds. You feel bad, angry, guilty. You've been apathetic for too long. You want to do something about it. You must do something about it. Well, this is what you're not going to do.
I quit!
You're not going to quit your job, leave your family, get on the next flight to Nicaragua, take a bus to the edge of the jungle, then hoof it across rivers, lakes, and streams on a quest to the very heart of the rainforest.
Take me to the heart of the rainforest.
You're getting closer. You're almost there. You have arrived.
You're not going to ingratiate yourself with the local tribesmen, go to great lengths to earn their respect and trust.
Nope. No.
It is around now you realize you're living out the cliché gringo fantasy of becoming an honorary native and leading the resistant forces. But screw it. If they could do it, so can you.
I'm gonna save you! This guy comes over here, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna pull a zap thing, that's right through him, right over here.
You're not going to coordinate and occupy the rainforest movement, realize it's hopeless, summon the power of the gods, lead a revolution against the deforesters and their multinational employers in an apocalyptic, once-and-for-all battle to save humanity, only to awaken 2 days later in an El Salvadorian hospital with 2 toes missing on your left foot.
Siri, I wanna go home.
Hobble out of Central America, up through Mexico, across the Sierra Madre, where you break down, have your first cigarette in 4 years, accidentally start a wildfire, killing off the endangered species that once served as your occupational distraction, finally make it back home, only to find you've been replaced at work by a guy named TJ, and that things at home are not what they used to be. You're not going to do any of these things, but what you can do is follow the frog. Buying Rainforest Alliance certified products ensures the future of our rainforests, so that you don't have to do the things you shouldn't do anyway. Just follow the frog.
Excellent. Good morning again, everyone.
Welcome back after that short little break. So now what we're going to do with you is we're going to run you through the organisation of the course and give you some more information about the course so you're ready to go next week.
All right. And just like we just saw in the video, this is what you are going to do in terms of these challenges.
So to give you some more information about how English is going to be organised this semester, we have the first module, which is the IT Job Challenges course, which is starting officially next week. So for the next 6 weeks, you'll have 2 or 3 hour sessions. We're going to tell you more about or remind you about the objectives and talk about the deliverables in a few minutes. Also keep in mind that you're going to have a second class, a theme-based class. And like last semester, you'll be able to choose the theme that you want to study. There are themes about media and democracy and technology in the corporate world, technology and the arts, technology and well-being. So watch out for the email and the Moodle link so you can sign up. And then at the end of the academic year, you'll all have the opportunity to do an official TOEIC. That is, if you haven't already done the TOEIC this year.
Absolutely. This is just a quick reminder of the Sustainable Development Goals that you guys saw in the quick wrap session from MC Fluency earlier. This is going to be the major focus of our class this semester. You're engaging with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals from the perspective of each of your majors to think about how we deal with these challenges. The 17 are here. During your first session, you'll have the opportunity next week to engage with each of them more concretely, understand what exactly each goal is intended to tackle, what is the challenge in the background, and once you've had that clear understanding, you will make your choice about which challenge you want to focus on this semester, and then the rest of the course will happen based on this choice.
Okay, and just we have a little video as well just to run through the goals. So as Keithley said, in the first course, you'll be really looking into these goals in detail, which will enable you to pick a goal per team. Okay, so just to sum up the main learning objectives, which we hope came clear thanks to the conversation that we had earlier with Felix. The objectives fall into 3 different areas. Obviously, this is the languages department, so we want you to improve your linguistic skills. This is key.
Yes.
We hope that you progress in English because all communication will be done in English. There'll be lots of participation, and through investigating, through exploring the UN Sustainable Development Goals, you'll be developing your language skills outside of the TOEIC, and we hope you'll be getting a deeper understanding and mastery of the English language.
Yeah, this is really crucial actually, because one of the things that you guys should all be very familiar with in terms of languages here at Efrei, we do not just prepare you for the TOEIC exam, we prepare you for developing this deeper understanding and mastery of the language, because it is once you have that we're able to go to pillar 2 of the learning objectives, which is about those transferable competencies. As you can see here, these are going to be the transferable competencies upon which you're going to build your career going forward, whether that's project management, developing a culture of learning, communication, creativity, the critical thinking and analysis. These are all going to be developed throughout the semester, which will then allow you, so if you notice, you're developing the linguistic skills, which feed into the transferable competencies, which then prepare you for this notion of global citizenship. Go ahead.
And Felix Nduga earlier told us about expressed how important it is for future engineers to not only have these linguistic skills, but also have these transferable skills, be able to think critically, really develop a culture of learning, and to very importantly, have an understanding, an analysis, a stake in our global world. And one fantastic way of doing this is through exploring the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
Yep, absolutely. So the UN Development Goals allow us to think about ourselves, us as teachers, you as students, in terms of our impact as global citizens. What are these environmental challenges? Are there any ethical implications? The cultures inside and outside of France. We will be engaging with those aspects and also thinking about preparing for the global workplace. One of the things that was mentioned in our conversation earlier was the importance of diversity, of lived experiences and perspectives, and that's all part of the preparation for working in a global workplace.
And we encourage you, once you've decided which goal you're going to focus on, to look at France, obviously, but really look overseas as well to try to get the most international, diverse perspective possible. Okay, so how's the course organised? Well, we started today with an overview of the project, and we welcomed a guest speaker. This was an opportunity, or this is an opportunity for us to share with you the video making toolkit, which has been created by Ping. Next week, class starts, and if you look on My Efrei, you'll see your group. And just to let you know, the groups have already been organised by the languages department. And what we've done is we've created we've made mini groups of 4 students with the same speciality. So each class has 5 groups of 4 students from the same major. And this means when you listen to each other's work and you help each other, you'll be exposed to many different perspectives, not just the perspective of your own major.
All right, so then we're basically going to have 6 working sessions. So the course is structured with time allocated for the project to be completed in class. Just so that you're aware, the class allows for you to work on the project in the class time, all right? So here we can alleviate some of the stress and questions that you might have. You're going to work on the project in class. There will be a little bit of work that you have to do outside in terms of the reflective essay, but most of the work is going to be done in class because this is a workshop style class.
Exactly. And your teacher's there to help you, to mentor you, to ask critical questions so you think about your issues more deeply, and to ask questions which will encourage you to probe deeper and tease out ideas and information. We've already talked about the importance of developing the skill of lifelong learning, learning to learn, and also the importance of self-reflection. If we think about the learning process, we think about the challenges, we think about the obstacles, the difficulties, and importantly, how we overcame them. This can be an excellent foundation for future lifelong learning. And one way that we want you to practice this is by doing the weekly reflective journals. And you will see there is a team space for each group, and there is a special area in Teams dedicated for your journal writing entries. So each week you will be able to simply download or write your entry into Teams.
That's going to happen during the first week of class next week. So your instructors will give you a little bit more details on how this aspect of the class will work. Just to keep in mind, in the final lesson, you will be presenting your video that you will have created. We're going to give you a little bit more information on this a little bit later on, but there will be a site where the videos are going to be hosted so that we will all be able to see the production of the entire M1 promo, because there are going to be some prizes that are going to be allocated. So there's going to be a jury who's going to go through all of the videos and make a selection. We can't promise that this is going to be the Cannes Film Festival red carpet, but we
will try our best.
We hope to inspire you with this experience of putting your very best foot forward, using the tools that will be at your disposal to produce something that you guys are absolutely proud of.
We hope that through this presentation that we really encourage you to and inspire you to take this course on and have a real deep internal motivation, so you really understand that you going forward can make a difference. And of course, we, as Keithley said, we will be offering some prizes as well, because it's always nice to have a prize,
right,
isn't it?
Right, absolutely, absolutely.
Please be aware that this class is extremely useful. We hope it's going to be very productive for you and fun. It will require a lot of work, and as Keithley said, you will have time in class to do work. So coming to class, participating is essential. It is a course that's challenging. That's why it's called IT Job Challenges.
Absolutely.
So just be aware, please, the makeup exam will reflect the time needed and the requirements of the module. Okay, so there'll be
the makeup exam is going to be a challenge, just saying. You want to come to class, you want to do the work so that you can avoid having to do the makeup exam. The class is going to be easier than the makeup exam. Let's put it that way.
Thank you. Okay, so just to have a look in a little bit more detail of what you will actually have to do. So here are the deliverables and the assessment of learning. So we've already mentioned you're going to be producing thinking about directing, producing, scripting a video, a 6-minute video, okay? And you'll also create a poster. For these, you'll get a group grade, but there will be adjustments. So your teacher will be very present in each class and will have a real idea of who is contributing. So if you have a team where, unfortunately, somebody doesn't seem to understand the importance of the course and just doesn't do the work, well, the whole team will not suffer.
Yeah,
okay?
Absolutely. This is really important.
And this video and poster is worth the lion's share of the course. It's 45%.
You also have to work on this reflective journal. So what's going to happen is that every week you're going to be doing journal entries. These are going to be posted in Teams. It will go live every week. You have an opportunity to submit just your reflections on the class for that week. The idea here is that each week's contribution forms the skeleton and the scaffold for the final essay. So if you do the reflective journals every week, you already have the body of the essay that's already been produced. You just have to pull that together, and we'll give you some guidelines about how to do the final reflective essay. But each week is essentially a contribution to the final essay. So that's how you should think about it.
And you will be astounded, because when we engage in this type of production on a weekly basis, our brains are like thinking about it almost in a dreamlike state. So when we write the final essay, you will have thoughts and inspirations that you never dreamed of having. Finally, the course is 100% English. There is no French in the classroom, none whatsoever. You can make mistakes. Mistakes are fine.
Absolutely.
Mistakes are great.
Yeah. Yeah.
French, however, much as we love French, is not possible.
Yeah.
English only. And because English is so important, we have created participation charts, which we will show you as well. It's very transparent. So you can see how you will be evaluated. Okay, another new initiative this year is the Efrei language boards. Each class, there will be one whiteboard which is dedicated to language, and your teacher, and we encourage you to fill up this board and review it. The language boards will be put on Teams as well. So this is like a running diary of all the English, the new English that you're learning thanks to the course.
So the idea of just to reinforce what Katie just said, the language board really is for you to be able to track the specialized elements of language that you will be developing throughout the semester. So if you're talking about data centers and their green footprint, then there's vocabulary, there's structures, there are elements that you're going to need that are a little bit more specialized for dealing with that challenge. So the idea is to just track this specialized language knowledge that you're developing as part of the project.
Okay, so more about the video. 6 minutes, English only. You have creative liberty. Now, obviously, we are in France. There are legal limits to ensure that you adhere to. We'll give you, in your team spaces, all the legal information that you need, and you'll also find this in the director's toolkit. Okay? In your video, you'll need to demonstrate that each group has really researched and understood their chosen UN goal from the perspective of their major. This means analysing, evaluating the problems. You can look at what's happening, decide what's working, success stories, limitations. Then, importantly, we want you to propose solutions as well.
The idea here really is that you are not going to be trying to propose solutions that will revolutionize the world, but it's the process of thinking about the problem from your major and beginning that experience of thinking about what could potentially be solutions. We expect that at this point, there may be intuitions.
Absolutely.
The idea is to think about them, test them, develop them, and you may end up going on and building an entire career around the solution that you will have developed here. So it's understanding the SDG problem, analyzing, evaluating it, thinking about how these problems could potentially be solved. You may be able to translate that into a solution. You may not, but it is also the process of going through these steps that we feel is really important.
It's picking a goal that appeals to you, that speaks to you. It's thinking, it's analysing, and it's sowing the seed of thinking about these problems, thinking how we can take different perspectives, maybe think about solutions, and by working on this idea of lifelong learning, this seed that's sown in this course, absolutely, it could lead onto wonderful things, and we hope it does.
Absolutely. So Every member of the team needs to appear in the video. This is an absolute requirement. And if there are any voiceovers, the students involved in the group have to be part of this. What we're trying to avoid is, pulling footage and data wholesale from sites or wherever, and that there's no imprint of the students having done the work. We want this to be collaborative. We want this to be an expression of what you are trying to do. So you need to be in it, and we need to hear your voices as well.
Almost, obviously, we've given you this director's toolkit to help you create the most professional video that you can. But the key thing here is the analysis, and it's the message. So videos that are done a little bit more artisanal, like a little bit homemade, a little bit more DIY, it's not necessarily a problem. What we want to see is that you've thought about these issues and that you've created something original, and that you show us that you have demonstrated and engaged in critical thinking. Okay, this is what we're wanting to see. Okay, so it's very important that everybody appears in the video, and if you do use voiceovers, because it's not necessarily a bad thing to use something that you found, but if you use a voiceover, you use your own voices.
Originality, creativity, critical thinking.
This is what we want.
Thinking about innovative solutions. These are the things that we're looking for. Those are the elements that are going to get the prizes. Those are the elements that are going to be rewarded.
Absolutely. Okay, and again, for the poster, demonstrate your creativity and your style. You can do anything: drawing, graphic art, imagery, photography. The idea is that you communicate the focus of the issue, you communicate your message. You need to make sure that you include the name of any company, person that you might include in the video. Make sure you get the relevant authorizations. Make sure you include the name of everybody in the group. And importantly as well, make sure that you link your video to the poster with a flash QR code. Okay, so when we put the posters up around the school, passers-by can be enticed by the poster, flip out their phone, and have access to the video thanks to the QR code.
All right, so the video and poster, acting responsibly. These are just some rules to keep in mind. Defamation. We will provide you with some legal definitions as well, so that you can understand what your roles and responsibilities are. This is just a quick definition of some really important ones. So defamation, understanding what this means, doing anything that is damaging to a person's reputation. There's also the element of slander. This here is about spoken statements that are intended to damage someone's opinion. We've also got some elements here about the use of image, data, sound, information without prior authorization, etc. This falls under RGPD, GPDR in English, right? So this is just a reminder of some of those rules. And in the annex to this PowerPoint that's going to be available to you in your team spaces, you will be able to go through in detail each of these legal elements. We have to be very much aware of the legal implications that are here as well.
Okay, so for the reflective journals and essays, obviously, in order to participate and to do a reflective essay and participate, well, like the key element is to be in class.
Right.
Okay, so that's kind of a no-brainer. Okay, and as we've said already, your weekly journal entries will be uploaded into the team spaces. Just for your information, the weekly journal entries will not be graded out of 20 each week, but they will be looked at, and your teacher might use something that you've written as a starting point for a discussion, or might ask you to develop an idea. Okay, it's very important that you do this, these weekly journals, as I said, because these are a key to the reflection process, and also they demonstrate that you've engaged correctly in this process.
Right. One of the things that we're trying to do with this exercise is we're trying to uncouple doing work that is connected to a grade. Often what happens is that you look at the grade out of 20, and that's the level of your engagement. So what we want for you to do here is the process is to reflect on what happened in class, where you were located in that, what things did you learn, what things did you discover, etc. And that's part of your reflection. Really what your instructor is going to be doing is just checking in to make sure that you've posted something. If you have not, it doesn't mean that there's going to be a penalization per se. It just means that your reflective essay at the end will not benefit from the full process of reflection over the 6-week period.
One thing that shone through last year when I was teaching this class and I was looking at the journal essays were how the students, for example, understood how lucky they are to be in a sector where they can actually make a valuable change. Okay, so again, we're asking you to do this not just for the English grade, but also for you as future engineers and as individuals, as global citizens. Okay, so we've prepared guidelines to help you do this with some theoretical models. We try to make them as accessible as possible, but there are definitely some processes that you can follow, some key thinkers that we can draw upon to help us in this reflection process. And these guidelines are available for you in your team space, and also with your teachers in class. You'll look at these different models and think about how you can pick and choose and inspire, and which questions work best for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you guys can see here, really what we want you to do is to follow this sort of like 3-pillar model. The before the experience, what was your perspective before engaging in the session in class? What happened during that experience? Did you learn some things? Were there challenges that you faced? How did you get around those challenges? And then the after element, so this is pillar 3 here. What are the insights that you have garnered from having gone through the experience? This is the idea of the reflective the reflective learning model, and we want this to be integrated so that you develop this as an intuition in terms of how you work, in terms of understanding how you learn, and being able to track that process.
And as we say, this process of doing it step by step, because you'll have, when you look at a class, when you look at what you thought about an issue before the class, what happened during the class, your interactions, research that you did, and then your reflection afterwards. Well, this is very interesting at a week-by-week level. But when you take into account the whole experiences, this really can bring analysis and insight at a much deeper level.
Yep.
Very, very rewarding.
Participation. So key to success in this module is showing up, being present, all right?
Pretty basic, but there you go.
you just got to show up, guys. That's really the thing that's going to be the most important. There are going to be a set of points that are attributed every class session. There are 5 points that are allocated. What's going to happen is we'll show you the participation grid during the first session next week. Your instructor is just going to be noting whether or not you were present, how well you integrated into the group. It's looking at your team dynamics, etc. Those things can only be evaluated if you're in the room participating in the group that you've been attributed to. All right. There's an evaluation grid. The evaluation grid looks at those elements. So this just gives you an idea of the things that we're going to be looking at. This is a 0 to 5 scale, and you can see here the 5 points is kind of what you guys want to be going for. All right.
And here, the reason that we're doing this is because we want to be as transparent with you as possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not just a teacher who likes a particular student, they'll get 20 out of 20. No. It's the student's actual engagement and participation in the course on a weekly level that counts. And getting 20 out of 20 for the participation is doable and expected.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy. If you show up, you can get it. You know, I mean,
excellent.
That's the best part.
Okay, so what can you expect from your teachers? Well, your teachers are there not to give you a course, not to give you a lecture each week, because the idea is really that this is your project, your intuition, your desire, and your research. But the teacher will obviously guide you through the objectives, the different steps of the project in the assessment process, lead in-class activities, allocate time for in-class work, and be really there to help with brainstorming and reflective thinking and discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we said earlier that this is a workshop style course, that is the idea. The instructor in the room is really a facilitator. They're going to help you guys. So if you're stuck, for example, they're going to ask you some questions. They might, offer some suggestions. They might make some recommendations about things to read, questions to maybe ask and consider. So the idea is they're going to be roving and roaming among each of the different groups and sort of integrating into and then stepping outside of the groups on a regular basis to just help drive your work forward is the idea.
The teachers aren't experts in the fields, and at this moment of time, you aren't either. The idea is that we're working together to really think about these and to get an understanding of the goal that you have picked yourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. So here, it's important to recognize that because it's a workshop, there is a process of mutual learning on both sides, right? There's a way that the teacher could push you in a particular direction. Maybe you might discover that this is really fascinating. Maybe not.
Or not.
But at the end,
that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of it, the video you produce is also contributing to our understanding of the issue from your perspective. So this is a really great contribution. Let me just give you a concrete example that came out of class last year. We had one group of students who had all done BN up to a point, so that they all had a background in biology as part of their collective experience, and they were kind of stuck on what to do. They were really interested in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal of life underwater, but were not really clear about where to go. And so in our discussions, one of the things that I recommended is that I love BBC, for those of you guys who know me. So I highly recommend a lot of things from the BBC, and they have this wonderful series called Extreme Conservation, and I directed them to an episode that was done on the Maldives. And so they went and did a deep dive into the Maldives. What are they doing in terms of environmental conservation? It is a chain of islands in the Indian Ocean that's completely surrounded by ocean that is at risk of being lost through climate change. So they were able to think about the initiatives that the Maldives as a country is doing to preserve its natural underworld habitats, as well as preserving the longevity of the country and the people there. So it's that kind of experience that we're going to be expecting. You may be out of ideas. Your instructor is going to basically give you some suggestions and push you in a direction. They had a wonderful time and discovered an entire country out of the experience.
And the great thing is we've got 17 different goals. So these 17 different starting points, and each starting point will develop and evolve. And so we're hoping that within a class, we have very rich and diverse themes that are going to be looked at. And the languages team are also available for you at any time. So you're always welcome in Gorky 108, K108. We're here as well for brainstorming. We simply love helping.
Yep,
so don't hesitate to come.
Okay, so session by session, you're going to get this next week. Your instructors are going to just go through this in a little bit more detail, but this just gives you a clear idea of how each session is going to be organized. So for example, session 1, you're going to spend some time working on the UN Sustainable Development Goals, determining what the role is that you guys want to focus on. Second session, you've identified your goal. You're going to be doing a little bit of work in terms of identifying institutions, NGOs, etc., actively dealing with this particular goal, doing a review of, in the case I mentioned earlier, what the students did here was they took their UN Sustainable Development Goal and then looked at the Maldives in a very broad sense in terms of what are they doing, how are they doing it, how are they working on those elements, and could there be things that they could contribute in their group work to using the Maldives as an example. Session 3, you're going to be looking at finding content for starting the video. So notice the progression. You've identified the goal. In the second week, you've identified the organizations. You've asked some critical questions. You're thinking about how you can contribute to understanding this goal out of your specialization as a student. And then from session 3 onward, we really start the work of building out your deliverable. Right? So here we start working on the video, thinking about what's going into your storyboard, thinking about layout for your posters, etc. So it's practical and directed.
Very, very, very hands-on with time to really focus on these activities in class. Session 4 is a continuation with more practical, with more opportunities to really work on the different aspects of the course in class. And session 4 is interesting as well, because we will ask each group to do a work in progress presentation, like a thumbnail, almost a pitch of their idea, either to their teacher or to their class as a group, depending on how the different groups are advancing. And this is really so your teacher can really just check in and make sure that you're on the right track, okay? And ask some key questions. This is a very valuable element of the course. And it will help you move on to session 5, where you'll be able to wrap up and finish your video and posters, work on the reflective paper, and also rehearse for the final presentation. Week 6, which is a shorter class, here you'll be delivering your presentation to your classmates. You'll be showing your posters. And as we've said as before, the classes have been set up and designed so that in each class there are different specializations. So this will give you a broad understanding of different themes within society, different challenges, and how different perspectives can take on those challenges.
All right, so what we want for you to get here is the overall link that we're trying to build in the class, right? We're starting off with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. We're connecting those to the majors that you will all have declared by now as M1 students, and linking that to the overall objective of Efrei, which is our Efrei for Good project here. So each of these is connected. The UN Sustainable Development Goals, your perspective as students in a major, contributing to this overall idea of Efrei for Good, but also you as students, as global citizens, building the bridges between these 3 different elements.
And all in English, and all with maximum creativity. It's a challenge, but we know you can do it. So before we come and answer a questions and answer session, could I just take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks on behalf of the languages department. A special thanks to Felix for coming and giving us his his precious insight. A huge thanks to the student associations, Tudum and Efrei Réseaux, without whom we wouldn't be able to be broadcasting. A huge thanks to the Efrei communications team for creating this wonderful studio. Thank you very much as well to Ping for collaborating with us, for helping us since September and creating the Efrei, or the Director's Toolkit. A huge thank you to Keith Lee.
Oh, you're welcome.
And a huge thank you to the other members of the best team in the school, the Efrei Languages Department. I'm Katie Moran. Thank you very much.
Tell me, what do you know about the SDGs? You see, each of us on Earth plays a vital role in working towards sustainable development goals. It takes heart and soul, not taking things for granted. Peace and prosperity for people and the planet. This we've got to to manage the future. We must plan it to work to our advantage and continue to do damage. Sustainable development goals, what do they mean? These are the SDGs from 1 to 17. No poverty, zero hunger.